Hey everyone, want to do a quick update before the video starts. Just really quick. Originally, this video and last video was just supposed to be about trumpet music and how the role of that changes. But as you'll see, Louie and I are really bad at staying on topic. We tend to ramble and get on different tangents. So if you watch the end, you'll see. I think we're just going to change this into just like a Luke and Louie talk series. I don't know how frequent or how many, but we just like talking about things. So stay tuned for most likely more episodes. I'm not sure how frequent, as I'm starting work this week, starting back up with work this week. So I don't know how frequent they'll be, but I'll try to talk to him and see what we can set up. But as of now, it looks like going forward, this video, as you'll see, and going forward, is just going to be Luke and Louie talk about life, music, kids, faith, trumpet, anything that really just kind of comes to our mind. So I hope you enjoy the video. Hello, everybody. It's Luke Plays Lead again. Welcome back to part 2 of our little, I don't think it's a series, but our talk on how trumpet and music in general is the role of music and trumpet in your life and how it changes through life events. Obviously, last time was very child-focused, mainly because I just had a child. That is the primary reason for that. And also, if anyone who's had a child knows how big of a shift that is, especially right as it happens. I know we talked about last time how it, gets, I want to say better. Your time kind of comes back as they get older. But that's just what I've gone through. But I do think I wanted to say this at the beginning of last one, and I just didn't and forgot. I do want this to be, and I think it could be applicable to any instrument. Just how the role of an instrument that you take seriously changes throughout your life. But I just wanted to be applicable to anyone. I think it goes for many. There's a lot of life changes out there. Children just happen to be a big one, and one that I've recently gone through. And it's the reason I wanted to make this video. But once again, I'm joined by Louie. Welcome.
Thank you. I enjoyed our last chat. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's been a day, maybe 2, to marinate on our thoughts. Yeah. But we're gonna dive right back into this, and I don't know where we left off, but that's okay. So before we maybe continue, do you have anything that maybe you wanted to? We got cut off last time because of the Zoom timer. If you didn't watch the first part, you can watch it or don't. It's your choice. But we got cut off by the Zoom timer because I don't have Zoom Pro. So it kind of was a little abrupt. I apologize for that. But is there anything that you didn't get to say or wanted to say, or any thoughts from last time?
No.
Okay, awesome.
I got it all out. Bang, right there. It was perfect. I thought it was a great ending to the show.
Awesome. Yeah, me too. Okay, so as I said last time, we didn't get to any of my bullet points. We kind of did, but I didn't actually read through them. We just kind of happened to touch on them. But something I wanted to ask you, I didn't say this last time as well, and I wanted to. One of the main reasons I wanted Louie to come on this, and 1, I like talking to him. 2, my job, I'm a music teacher. I play trumpet on the side as a semi-hobby. Like a hobby, but I get paid to do it sometimes. Yes, but when I had a child, I had the opportunity and the choice to just not play because it wasn't my source of income. I was allowed to just be like, well, I'm just not going to play for 5 months because I didn't do that. I didn't play. I played like once or twice a week, maybe, for about 5 months, which is a drastic change from the everyday I was playing before. But I had that choice. I was allowed to just not play because it wasn't my primary source of income. But I know maybe some people watching this want to go into performance or are already in performance, and that is, one of their primary sources of income. And I do know you touched on it a little bit last time. But you were not allowed to just stop playing. How did you... Was this something you planned for when you're like, okay, we're going to have kids. I know this is going to be a big change. Like, let's talk about this and let's put something in place. Or is it kind of like, okay, we have a child and I have to figure this out all of a sudden. How am I going to go out and do gigs while also being there for my family?
Well, in some areas of my life, I certainly lack faith, but in others, I don't. I'm not really much of a planner.
Me too,
Um,
as these videos I think
really,
show.
really want to be a planner.
Mhm.
I just work better when I react. When I'm reactive, I'm a fire putter outer. And that's when I get into my most creative space.
Mhm.
So, in answer to your question, I didn't really get a moment to think about it or concern myself with it. I'd only ever played trumpet. It's all I've ever done. So I just carried on and left my wife at home while I went to play, and things kind of carried on as normal, except I was more tired.
That's
Um,
fair.
it was a big shake up because what I learned was it was sort of incompatible, at least in that early period, if I wanted to be really involved.
Mhm.
Uh, because I would get home late from work anyway. I see, a lot of people I know that work through this and it's totally fine. And the problem is a performance career on the trumpet can mean a lot of things. Mm.
Hmm.
You What I'm starting to see that's pretty much universal, especially if you're the sort of person that works for contractors. It's different if you're an artist
Mhm.
and you are creating you have your own business and you're doing it that way, direct to consumer. But if you're like dealing with clients and you're contacted by certain contractors or whatever, or even other musicians to sub for them, yeah, you're just your ticket price, if you will, is not very high. It's good. It can be a good living if you're at the top of the pack. It can be pretty good living, but it doesn't scale. It's totally unscalable.
Hmm.
The only way to scale is to become a contractor yourself and then to contract other musicians. But you're playing if you I was told by a great trumpet player, John Thurkel, and a great businessman and a great guy in general. He runs the trumpet camp that I do in Spain every year now, and he plays with Jamiroquai and Swing Out Sister, and lots of awesome bands. And he said to me, "I realized one day that if I have to hold this metal thing to make money, I'm not going to make much of it." And so
Mhm.
this call doesn't have to turn into how to make money because that's not really the point. But
Mhm.
if you're the sole breadwinner and that's how you want it to be, that's a choice. Right? My wife could go and work all the time if I asked her to, right? Because it would have to be a little bit like that. Or if she needed to, which some people that's what needs to happen, then that would be what it was. But because I wanted to do this, or we wanted to do this way, I had to find a way of scaling my um, scaling my value, what I can offer. So a few years went on, and I started my trumpet academy about 18 months ago now, 16 months ago, something like that. And I can sell my membership program as a one-to-many solution, which makes it scalable. And everyone gets the same value, doesn't change anyone's value. So I'm not spreading myself thin or anything like that. And so I feel comfortable in that role, along with the performance career. I've learned loads about business. I think it's fascinating. I got the chance to sit in here and do this. And see, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but we're moving to Nashville at the end of the year. But where I'm not going to have any gigs when I get there, right?
Yeah.
So still got to provide. So this is just a classic putting out a fire situation. I didn't plan to put the academy together. There was absolutely zero plan. Honestly, I got contacted by a kid, 16-year-old kid in Sweden to put it together with me. And he just said, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "I don't even know who you are, but yeah, let's do it." And I don't think I would, if I hadn't become a Christian, I don't think I would have had anywhere near when I think back to what God has done in my life over this period, I would have no I wouldn't be going to America. I wouldn't have figured out what it meant to be a father, but that's another thing. And I would have probably remained bitter and resentful of the situation that I had chosen,
Mhm.
rather than have some faith and take a risk and try and go outside everything I knew.
Mhm.
Some people changing spaces and things like that isn't a huge deal, but for me, having never done anything other than performance, and obviously I taught, otherwise I wouldn't be able to start my academy, but I'd never run a business like that.
Yeah.
It was a huge change, and I, people who are in, I think we talked about this last time, people who are in this position where they think that they're stuck, they're not really stuck. They think they're stuck, and it's really the fear that is stopping them from making the adjustments necessary. And I've felt it my whole life, and I still feel it to this day, but I do have more faith now. And I'm not even going to call it self-belief. It still feels like, how is any of this going to work? Honestly, It's insane. Another baby in October. I'm going to release my album in November. There's a big album launch with 30 people on stage, and then we're going to move to America in probably the end of November, early December, with no plans and no idea what on earth we're doing when we get there. But I say all this because we make decisions we don't really plan, and then we just deal with things as they come. Otherwise, I just get overwhelmed. I can't cope with it. If I look I want to see the big picture, but then I just freeze.
Yeah.
So whatever's next in front of your face, do that. And your question was so far away from what I've been saying here, but I think all of it's basically related. How did I continue a career? Well, I continued it for a while being incredibly unhappy because it wasn't, I was having to do certain gigs that were destroying my passion and love for the instrument, and then to make ends meet, and then complaining about them, right? So ultimately, the short answer to all of this is go and add some strings to your bow and find out how you can be more valuable and helpful to the world, and you get blessed and rewarded for that. I'm certainly by no means out of the woods with all of this, still figuring out how to do it all. But I think relying on the piece of metal to pay for the world, if I'm honest about it, relying on holding a piece of metal all day, pay for a world is getting more expensive, and a career that is slowly being replaced with AI and more things like that. I think it's foolish to not consider what your options are.
Yeah, expand the horizons of
and I think
in your skill set.
Yeah, when people found out I was moving to the US, my diary is got quiet. That's totally fine. I'm not bitter about that at all. I think it's understandable. But it is going to be interesting to get to the US. What will be there, if anything? One thing that happened when I decided to move was I had to be totally at peace with never playing again and mowing lawns. I had to. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I had to find that peace. Otherwise, that could have been what happened. I'm hoping that happens. Although I do love mowing lawns, I will say. But I'm giving you a big spiel here because I wanted to answer it fully with all the context to understand that. I guess the answer to your question is no, I didn't make it really work very well because I've chosen to do these other things. And I don't see that many people making it work that well, if I'm honest. When the kids are this young, it's very difficult. And the daycare and stuff like that, which isn't really on our radar particularly. We're going to homeschool the children if we can. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I just don't personally understand outsourcing raising your children when you could outsource something else.
Yeah.
So that's why we've made those decisions, and it's why everything's worked this way. And the last thing I'll say after this huge monologue is that I'm grateful to have been taken to the dark place because without it, I would never have been forced into seeing these other things. And Miles, my eyes being open. Wow, like it's crazy. I'm so
Yes.
grateful for the perspective shift. I'm more grateful for that than anything else. That's if I was going to cry about anything, it would be out of gratitude for those realizations.
Yeah. No, certainly we are blessed with struggles and turmoil in our life to open a lot of times used to open our eyes to other things that we may not see or consider, or it's used to advance us, in our faith and our lives. So that's awesome. I think to add to your point back to the video, I do think that what you are doing with the academy and all that stuff does, I think that perfectly contributes to the role of the trumpet and how it changes through our life. The role of the trumpet for a long time, and still can be. Louis, is that? Can I get that somewhere? That's a great mug.
Mine's Academy. I just realized I was drinking coffee out of it.
Mine's Christmas.
You got Christmas mug.
It's a mug. It's a mug I had growing up. I like it. Anyways, the role. And I'm not saying it's not anymore, but primarily the role of trumpet for you, I feel like maybe is a lot more performance centered. And now, I mean, I don't think maybe you would have, but starting your academy without the trumpet, the role of trumpet maybe has kind of changed from performing, which you still do, but it also has a new role in providing this academy.
I can give you a good down of how I see this and how I think it differs between the UK and the US.
Okay,
it's very interesting. Everything I'm going to say is going to sound stereotypical and generalized here, so I'm going to caveat everything I say for the guys out there that are going to clip. About that I'm obviously generalizing here, but there is this sense in the UK that if you teach, means that you didn't make it.
Really?
There's this interesting. Oh yeah. If you can't do, you teach. That's the saying.
Okay.
So I was very reluctant, and for a long time I didn't want to call myself a teacher because of that, because it might hurt my ego. But I don't understand why we think like that, because it's really quite silly. Mm-hmm. If you can do something well, you are skilled at something. A way to scale the value that you have is to show other people how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Seems obvious.
Yeah.
But that isn't really. I think that the US honors educators and teachers more as well. They honor it. You can see it in the fees that university professors and lecturers are paid over there. It's totally different to here. It's substantially more. Mm-hmm. And that makes teaching a bit of a sort of churn out effect here. It's like, how many students can I get and how little attention and time can I give them? Because it's all a volume game, right? Mm-hmm. And it's made me. I came to, once I realized that I actually really liked teaching, which took a while. Mm-hmm. And I had many of my students in the academy tell me that I was a natural as well, which doesn't surprise me. My mother's a teacher, but I found that had a new identity and a new place with that. That now both sides, both the educational side and the playing side, credit each other. And I think that's really good. And I think that's how in the US it's seen, you get good at something, and as you mature, you get a teaching job and you help the next generation come along, and it's all how it's supposed to be. But it doesn't, I'll just say it doesn't feel like that here. Sure, there are people here that feel like that, but it doesn't feel like that in the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very grateful to have built this, but some upkeep.
Yeah, I can imagine. No, that's awesome. I didn't know that about. I feel like most players. I mean, I'm probably more sheltered in this. but I know a lot of fantastic players, and I would say most of them also teach in some way. I wouldn't say every person who I know that performs like has a teaching position, but I know a lot of them do. Like my Jasmine professor in college, Dr. Kush, I know he's performs a lot, plays a bunch of places, but he was also, our Jasmine professor and saxophone professor at Slippery Rock, where I went to college. And I know a lot of people who perform and have a teaching job, but if they don't have a teaching job, they probably do lessons on the side. Because like you said, that's a way to scale what you're doing. Depending on where you live, of course, but not every place is feasible to just play. I think YouTube can help that as well. I feel it's a little harder now to get noticed and out there and stuff, but I feel like it could help.
I think that's only as a result of us being more connected than ever and being also more lonely and isolated than we've ever been.
True.
And the other thing is that is really interesting about playing and the internet is that you can doctor the hell out of your playing on the internet and come across as a really great player. I've done it, right? You can dress everything up so it's perfect. It just takes some attention and some patience, some dedication. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be the perfect guy to go into a studio situation, because it doesn't mean that you can read, or it doesn't mean that you can, blend in with a section or something like that. It doesn't tell you anything about the person. So the exposure that you're getting is great for individual attention, but I don't think it makes a cohesive musical culture.
Yeah.
It's actually rampant individualism, which is interesting,
Yeah.
You get these individual artists rather than people that kind of come together and know how to play with each other. And that's what you get when you grow up in an industry. The other thing about the UK and this teaching thing is London is one of the only places in the whole world where there are probably 150, 200 trumpet players. I'm actually going to say about 100 to 150 trumpet players that are making a living full time in London without teaching, subsidizing with teaching. It's extraordinary.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are that. I could be telling you, I have no idea, honestly. But I don't know if there are that many in New York or LA. I don't know. I don't think there are that many in Nashville. But that also might have something to do with the fact that teaching is not as needed to make a living. But as with all this thing, the scalability of it is not very good.
Yeah.
As a player. So
yeah. This is my topic on YouTube. I don't know. I can't contribute very much to the UK scene. I don't know.
No, you're good. I'm just I'm telling you what I know, right? Because I've been here.
That's very interesting. Like I said, I don't know much about it, so I didn't know any of that. Very interesting. YouTube, I have a weird approach. My channel's not that big. Anyone that watches, I greatly appreciate it, of course. Originally, I started my YouTube channel. I started it, like 2020, like during COVID, and I wanted to archive a place for my playing so I could look back and see, because I feel like every musician knows this. You're playing and you're like, man, I suck. I'm bad. I feel like I've never gotten better. So I wanted a place where I could record myself, put it up, and I could go back in a couple of years and being like, when I'm feeling like, man, I am not good right now, I can look back and be like, wow, okay, never mind. I am better than I was 3 years ago. Now, if it got views, I was happy. I didn't really expect it to, because YouTube is such a massive pool of stuff, everything. But that was originally why I started it, and they started to get more traction. I started to do more videos, a lot of playing videos, a lot of my One Piece. My first video that got a lot of views was my Arturo Sandoval Star Spangled Banner cover. The reason I did that is in college, my the trumpet. I don't know if it was the trumpet section or the band. We would always, before we went out on stage, we would get in a circle, listen to that recording of him playing the Star Spangled Banner. You know, hand on the heart, listen to it. So I wanted to record it and send it to some of my buddies. Put it on YouTube, send it to my buddies, and that video blew up. The comments are wild. People do not like it. I don't know if they're trying to. I don't know if people think I was trying to play off, because I green screened it because I thought it'd be funny, and I dubbed my name in the voiceover instead of Arturo Sandoval. It goes Luke Barnes. But yeah, I don't know if people think.
They're pretty good here.
So I got some defenders. I mean, it's funny. I don't care too much, but that was the first time a video of mine blew up, and I was like, wow, I don't know why that hit people's algorithm. I know people talk about it, but it was that, and then
what's his other one at 97,000 views? One Piece Frankie theme.
My One Piece videos really took off, and I love One Piece. One Piece is my favorite media franchise of all time. If you've seen,
even know what One Piece is.
It's an anime, one of the longest running. It's like the Simpsons of anime. It's been going since before I was born.
Yeah, I see.
Looks like it's winding down, wrapping up soon. But I love One Piece, and there's some great trumpet. I think Eric Miyashiro's played for some of it. I don't know if that's true, but there's some trumpet I hear in it. I'm like, that sounds like him. But I'm not sure. But those really took off, and then I was like, okay, maybe I could do something with this. The Frankie one's great. I love that. I mean, it's just like a great little theme with some trumpet in it. A nice double A at the end. But as it gets, I'm not getting big, but as it gets more, I got more people subscribing, and I was like, okay, well, I feel like I should do more. I want to do more than just like playing videos, and playing videos really slowed down in replace of educational content, because I feel like as a trumpet player, I have gone through so many struggles. I have struggled so much on the trumpet, especially in like junior year of college and after COVID. Like, so many things I mean, when we started working together, I had like 30,000 bad habits. I played with too much tension. I was just overthinking everything. It was bad. And I wanted to share those experiences with other people that may have similar problems or experiencing something. Like, I was grateful that I was able to take a lesson with someone and hear something really valuable. And like, maybe I would love to share that with people. And just a place for my brainstorming. They're just like thoughts I had. Some of it maybe works, some of it maybe doesn't. But like, as you said, I kind of changed more into educational content because I like teaching. I am a teacher. Two, I think it could help people. And I saw the value in the playing videos where I just like dub over a song, but I saw it for myself because I just wanted to see how like my progress through the years. I don't see too much value in it for like my average viewer, but those tend to be my most viewed videos. I don't know why. People
because YouTube is not an education platform. It's YouTube is an entertainment platform and edutainment platform.
That's a good way to put it. It's
not really an educational, it's edutainment. So that's why people go on here to be entertained and edutained.
Yeah. There's
just to feel like they're learning something, but really they're just getting a dopamine hit.
I agree with I do that myself. What was I saying? Anyways, so yeah, it was just the role of the YouTube channel and trumpet for me kind of that shifted a little bit for that. Just as my channel grew a little bit, I still want to do more playing videos, and I mean, I just uploaded one right before we did this. I uploaded what was it, Get in Line? That was more of just a comeback because I was really getting back into trumpet, but I want to do more One Piece ones because those are fun. I have to transcribe them myself. I have to listen and write down my part, so they just take a little longer. I want to do Cowboy Bebop as well. But anyways,
one of those Cowboy Bebop tank things with Nick Bernier.
Tanks are great.
Fun.
Great song. Yeah. Where was I going with that? I don't know. But it's just.
I was looking through the channel. It's fun, man.
let's talk about my channel a little bit. It's just very, very interesting how I approached the channel, and it changed, but I wanted to be more educational. But it seems like my playing videos do well, so I want to do more of those, and they're fun, but just I don't know. They're not as fulfilling for me as like an educational video is. But
Makes sense.
But that's okay. It's not really something I like focus on. It's more something. It's like, oh, I really want to do this. I want to record this. Let me do it. I'll record it. So like this was a video. Like I thought of this idea. And I was like, I want to do that. I'm not someone that can wait. I am very like, I think of it. I want to do it. I try to get it done as soon as possible. So like I messaged you an hour after I thought of the video. And then I set it up an hour later, and here we are doing 2 videos in like 4 days later after I thought of it. It was something I thought was really interesting, and I thought maybe other people would have an idea, or like they maybe they experienced something, and I don't know, maybe could prepare them for it. But I'm getting way outside the realm of this video, just kind of rambling as I do. This is how I teach if you ever wonder what my class is like when I teach theory, this is what it's like. Okay, dial it back in here. The role of trumpet and music in our lives. Okay, I want to ask you another question. Outside of children, because maybe not everyone is either close to that or planning on it, or they already have it. Have you had other, outside of maybe the album, big life changes that made you rethink how you approach the trumpet, what the trumpet is in your life, or the value of trumpet in your life?
Only coming to faith. Other than that, no.
Okay. Then next question: how has faith? Because I talked with you a lot through that period and that process.
Yes.
And I know we've talked off camera about it. What questions did you have? Because not like questions for me or anyone else, but like questions you asked yourself after having that big of a mind shift. What questions were you asking yourself of like, was this really as valuable as I thought? Should I be doing this? Should I just like should I put down the trumpet? Is that not glorifying or anything? Or like,
I think the best question you could ask here is something like, what questions could your old world view not answer about what you do?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Something like so my old world view just basically couldn't account for anything other than pride. So the feeling of self-deprecation, which we thought was humility, was raised to believe was humility, was so strong that it would make you hate yourself and your playing, because anytime that you did something good, you had to make sure that you called it out as not as good as it was, or and you were always encouraged to focus on the bad things. It's just a horrendous way to live, honestly. Because in that worldview, there was really nothing. I couldn't find nothing else that was strong enough that told me about like the meaning or the why behind what I had and what I was doing with it. You said it in the last video. It's kind of a bold thing to say, I have this gift, all right, and I was given it. If you don't understand what that means, then you're just going to think that person is cocky and arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole upbringing was people trying to stop me from being cocky and arrogant. I was a good trumpet player, but we weren't allowed to talk about that. It was very strange. Maybe I said some stupid stuff, but I was like 11 or 12 years old. I mean, 11 and 12 doesn't say stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 11 or 12-year-old that was really quite interested in truth without realizing it. So I had this YouTube channel, and like, I don't know what I was doing with it. I was just putting up these videos, but I would always focus on the negative comments. And Faith gave me an answer, or Christianity, I should say, more than just faith. Christianity gave me an answer that I didn't have. the answer before. So I could now it was I had a story that I could live and believe, choose to believe, because it is a choice to believe anything, even if it's subconscious. I had a choice to believe that I had this gift that I was obliged to use. That was the big shift, huge shift. Going from don't let anyone know what I can do, which genuinely, even though I put videos up on YouTube, that was the thing. I didn't interact with anybody. When we had gigs, I always self-deprecated after the gig. You know, play down what I could do. And then when you start playing it down, you start believing it as well. Like you start believing that you can't. So you have to be careful about putting someone's light out, especially younger people, because it can be very hard for them to find it again. So having this other worldview, this other change, this other way of seeing what it was that I had this gift for, gave me an answer that I could test. And then once I tested it and it turned out to be true, it was great because I realized, oh, there are people out there that like what I do and that want it. And you might think, well, Lou, you have a YouTube channel with all these millions of views and all these amazing comments, right? But it was not getting in because the ego barrier was so strong that I couldn't allow any of that in case, I couldn't be seen to be someone that accepted those kinds of compliments. Because it couldn't channel it in the correct way. I couldn't channel it towards the correct thing. It was just, there was only pride. That was it. It was like either pride or nothing. When you change a story so that you have this obligation because you have this gift that you have to use in order to inspire, it's interesting. Now I see it. Like you actually, for anyone out there that might be seeing this that isn't a Christian, like you actually don't necessarily need to be a Christian or have faith to see the story. It's just it wasn't presented to me in a way that I could understand it without faith. So yes, you can inspire people with your playing in the hope that the next generation comes up and plays better. To have enough self-belief to do that, of course, but yes. But I would say if you don't believe, if you don't have faith, I'd say, well, why does it matter in the first place? Why does it even matter that you would inspire the next generation? You're going to die and nothing's going to happen anyway. So what's the big deal? Just sit around, don't do anything. So to a degree, everyone has faith, otherwise they wouldn't move out, they wouldn't move muscle, and they wouldn't get out of bed. They're moving towards something, they're just not aware of what it is. So to have that clarity and to be like, okay, this is what this is all about. This is what I'm supposed to do with it. That is like an extraordinary change in my confidence. And actually, there were a lot of people that didn't like that. Really didn't like that.
People get
because
scared.
I stopped playing the game that I was taught in the industry, and people noticed it. I stopped self-deprecating. No one wants to hear that except for the peers, because the peers it makes them feel better about what's going on, right? And I stopped doing all that stuff, and I encouraged other people to stop doing it, but they took that as preaching or something like that. Upset them, but I didn't want to hear my friends talk to themselves like that. So it's not if it's not good for me, it's certainly not good for them either. But as I've matured and understood, gone on this journey, if people don't want to hear the truth, then they won't hear it. And I'm certainly, been a culprit of that too my whole life. So we're all as blind as we are at the end of the day. But I'm just grateful to understand what real humility is, to the degree to which I can understand it. And it's not self-deprecation and self-loathing.
Yeah.
Is what I thought it was. And that shift has allowed me to play the trumpet with so much more freedom, because I care what people think, but I also don't. At the end of the day, I'm just going to go and do my best, and if you don't like it, it's fine.
Yeah. What are you going to do about it?
Whereas before, it was like everything's right.
Yeah.
Everything's right, and my whole identity and existence is riding on this. And now it's like no one's even hearing it in the resolution that I'm hearing it. You know, I've heard he play so much.
Mm-hmm.
No one
Yeah.
else is hearing it in that resolution, so no one's going to judge it like that. And another good piece of advice is I've been taught is I'm not for everyone. That's very freeing. When you find that out, Louis, you're not for everyone. Initially, it's like a gut punch if you think that you should, if you think you're supposed to, if you're like a
Mhm.
people pleaser, if you think you're supposed to be for
Yeah.
everyone, do everything for everyone. When you realize that you're not, it's initially a gut punch, but then it's like this most extraordinary freedom of realizing, oh wait, no, I'm not. I'm just for the people that fall sort of into my lap when it's the right time for us to
Mhm.
connect. We have a kind of a relationship like that. It's great. I won't talk to you for 6-7 months or whatever on a call, and then all of a sudden it's like we,
Yeah.
like best mates again. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
very easy, because we both have a mutual understanding of that. There's sort of no pressure on that. But
Yeah.
before it was like, yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, so that's what happened to my trumpet playing with that. I don't think
Mhm.
I don't think it made me a better player. It just made me a freer player.
Yeah.
Let me enjoy
That's
it
a good
more.
way to put it. I like that. Once you move to the US, that's stopping, by the way. I'll be calling you every week. Kidding.
We can play video games. We'll be on the same.
Yeah, same
We'll be on the
time
same
zone finally. You'll be right below me. I did want to talk about, because it's something that I've had a personal vendetta against for a long time, and that is the self-deprecation in music. Like you said, I feel like we've been taught and encouraged to, it's like you get a compliment. I feel like I see this more in music. I'm sure it goes for other places as well. But in music especially, I feel like we've been taught, like, after a performance, or maybe you just do, it's like, that was awesome, like, great job. And you're like, thanks, I really didn't play well on this, or like, it's like, I missed this. It's like, everyone does it. I do it. I've done it myself. I try not to now, and sometimes I catch myself still doing it. But like, is it so wrong that even like my parents, after I play a performance, my mom would be like, oh, that solo you did on this one was really awesome. I'd be like, thank you. I didn't think I played that well. Like, why can't I just go, thank you, I really appreciate that? Like, why can't we just do that? As musicians, I feel like so little. Yes. Yeah, I feel like it boils down to, it's like, I know you thought I played well, but I'm actually better than you even think I am. Like, you thought I was good, but just know, like, this was not me playing well. Like, I feel like that's maybe subconsciously what we're doing, is we want them to know that, like, I'm better than this, which is just an ego thing. It's just a pride thing. Where instead, I feel like we should just be like, thank you, I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. I appreciate that. I'm not
even better
saying,
response, which is even harder response, is, well, glory to God, right? Because I was talking to someone, but actually going to see him this evening, which I'm excited to see him. Like, this is getting into a whole other conversation, but like,
yeah.
can you really actually accept that compliment? You know, can you really? You know, or does it need to be redirected somehow? So
there's a whole other conversation.
it's a big one, but yeah, I mean, you know, at the heart of the matter, we are scared that people will think that that's the extent that's all we have to offer.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know that there's something else, but every time that we divert attention away from their joy is like an energy, like a spiritually, like, sapping their energy, and it's
I have a comment on that
evil
as well. Whenever you're finished,
go on, hit it.
So this is another thing I've had a personal vendetta about. You know, when someone says something to you that's like something happened to them and they're excited to tell you about it. If you're watching this, I need you to consciously think about this next time someone shares something with you. A lot of the time, we're excited to share something with someone. You tell it to someone that, like, whatever happened, you're like, oh my gosh, Louis, I finally hit a double high B. And then 99% of the time, people will go like, oh, that's awesome. I remember when I did that. I remember, like, that happened to me too. Like, just, even if something has happened to you similar, just be like, oh, that's so awesome. Or I don't know. It's something that I've thought about a lot in the last, like, 2 years.
No, I kind of agree with you, but I also recognize that they're recognizing a connection they can make with you,
That's true.
and they're saying it out of excitement, like they've made a connection. Maybe it's a little untactful and the timing isn't great, but because it takes the limelight off you, which is really, you know, but,
Yeah.
people just haven't always been given the. I certainly haven't always been given the tools, the communication tools necessary in order to do that. I probably made that mistake 100 times, in my life. When you hear someone do something well, and it's not even that you aren't happy that they've done it, you need to smash them down. It's like, oh yeah, I remember how you felt I remember how I felt when that happened too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe my example is not quite what I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
I understand the sentiment.
Yeah, it's just be conscious when you're talking to someone. Not you. I'm talking to an audience. If they are excited that something happened to them, be happy for them first, and then you can share. Of course, I don't know. It's something I've thought of recently. I've thought of last year or two. Anyways, okay. We don't have too much time here.
I can give you another example, actually. We got our visa approved for our green card, and then the first thing that you get response to it is, "Oh, congratulations! Have you thought about this?" They'll give you.
I'm sure that's something you hear.
Have you thought about how you're going to afford your medical bills? Have you thought? And then it's like, if I think about that,
that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. That's a way better example of what I was doing. Yeah.
When I decided to move, I was like a lot of close family members. They dealt with it through. They believed that it was concern for me. But actually, I remember what one of my family members said to me. When you move, you will have to pay money to the IRS for the rest of your life, even if you move away. So, oh really? Oh, should I not go then? And she said, "Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like if you thought about
just so you know."
Yeah, I was like, well, what if I do think about it? Should I not go? No, you can still go. Well, then why are you telling me?
Yeah.
Because when I think about it, I know there are a lot of probably people that see this and like, so no, she's just concerned about you. I understand that. Really? Really? Or is it just because there are many, it's like I haven't thought about that. But if I thought about every reason there was to not go, I'd not go. You have to, at some point, you have to just like block all those potential difficulties out the way. Faith won't carry you. You need to move those obstacles out the way in order to actually go towards the man. It's like, okay, I can't worry about that right now. I know you want me to, but if I bring that in here, I'm not gonna manifest the move happening. So yeah, like are you giving your concerns, or are you concerned about that person? And quite often, and I've certainly been someone that's done this many times in my life, I hear something and I go, oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Sure. Right. And it yeah.
I feel like that happens a lot when you tell someone like, I want to go into music. Performance or teaching. Like if you tell someone like, I think I want to pursue music as a career, a lot of times they're like, like the pay's not great, or you might not be able to buy a house, or how are you going to afford this? And you're like, this is I've thought about it. It's my passion. It's my gift. At some point I just got to have faith. If I think about all the bills, like when I went into music after high school, I wasn't thinking about like, man, gas prices are going to be so high in 2026 when I have a house. How am I going to pay my gas bill? So like, yeah, I could have thought of a million things.
It's hope, isn't it? It's hope. If you kill the hope, you're done. You're done. So yeah, man. Hey, look, I've got to jump on a call here.
Yeah,
I'm really sorry to
we're out of time. But, at least better than 40 minutes.
Just. But we could do a part 3. I just like talking to you. It's fun.
Maybe I'll change the video title because the first one's called Luke and Louie Talk, and then the afterwards, maybe we'll just do a Luke and Louie Talk series, and the title after will just be whatever we talked about.
Let's just do a series, all right? Let's just do a series, and basically our own little podcast. See
what this is at this point.
It's fun, yeah. I don't even know, but it's fun, man. And maybe there are some other people out there that
hopefully people
that
find
are
some value in this.
nodding along.
They're grimacing.
They're nodding along, or they're scouring.
Yeah.
You know.
Feel free to leave your comment, and I
whatever
may read it. I'll probably read it. I will read it, but respond, I don't know. We'll see. All right, thanks for joining me. We're
just two young guys trying to figure this whole thing out.
Yeah, that's exactly.
If
you have something to say, leave it. You are more than welcome to leave. You have freedom to leave a comment, and I have freedom to answer it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next part. Goodbye.